Danhausen, the internet phenomenon, made his debut on AEW Dynamite just a few weeks back, and that video has already got over 1 million views on YouTube. And to be quite honest, we'd quite like a slice of that Danhausen pie, if possible. Like, a few of you may well know Danhausen and his infamous catchphrase, "They're nice, they're evil, my wife." But some of you, myself included, not quite sure who is Danhausen. Why do folks seem to absolutely love this guy? With that in mind, I'm Adam Wilborn from What Culture, and these are 10 very evil, very fascinating facts about AEW's newest signing, Danhausen. Number 10. Jim Cornette likes Danhausen. Jim Cornette and AEW are a bit like oil and water. They just don't really mix. I'm fairly certain I can list the things that Jim Cornette likes about All Elite Wrestling on one hand. Let's see, there's CM Punk, especially his theme, MJF, FTR, and Bryan Danielson, I think. Beyond that, he is really not a fan of most things AEW, and yet he is a fan of Danhausen, recently on his podcast praising the amount of work that he's put into the character. However, now Danhausen is All Elite, will Cornette still be a fan? Only time will tell. Number 9. Danhausen has history with Orange Cassidy. Fans unfamiliar with Danhausen may have been as surprised or as perplexed as Adam Cole and Orange Cassidy when he made his shock appearance on Beach Break a few weeks back, but it really should come as no surprise considering his history with Orange Cassidy on the indie circuit as rivals and indeed as tag team partners. Furthermore, Danhausen, before he suffered his awful leg break on Halloween, actually made the save alongside Will Ospreay on the Jericho Cruise for Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho before they could be attacked by Chaos Projects, Serpentico, and Luther. So could we see Danhausen emerging from the back of Sue's van as a member of Best Friends going forward? Well, it's certainly a possibility. Hausen, is that how it works? Number 8. Danhausen almost gave up on wrestling altogether. Whilst it seems absurd to think about nowadays, Danhausen almost hung up his cape back in 2017. He revealed in an interview with friend of the channel, Chris Van Vliet, that he just felt like it was going nowhere being in the wrestling business. He was frustrated, he was hurt, he was losing money, and he just couldn't see any proper end to where things were heading. So he thought, you know what, I'll give it one more go and do this horror-based character, just do something that I enjoy doing, basically, and look where it has got him. Fair play. Number 7. Danhausen has a comic book. As popular as Danhausen is on Pro Wrestling Tees, and he is very popular indeed, he also has a wide variety of merch, including his own comic book, Warhausen by Jason Doring. It features Danhausen, Warhouse, and Alley Cat taking on the evil Mr. Impressive, who seeks to destroy their very reality and therefore all the royalties that said comic book makes, which is, yeah, quite the nemesis, in fact. And speaking of nerd stuff, number 6, Danhausen is a toy collector. The great Kurt Angle once said we all have our vices. His happened to be gutter sluts, if I'm not mistaken, and Danhausen's is toys. He can't get enough of these things, like this one with Billy Gunn that for some reason sweats out of its tits. But regardless, he often does unboxings of like limited editions or collectibles or action figures or new releases, whatever it be, in character on his YouTube channel, and his fans even send him like presents and gifts and stuff for him to open in character as well, because they just love, regardless of really what he's opening, to see how he reacts to it all. Don't be weird though, don't send him creepy stuff. He's not a fanhausen of that. Number 5. Danhausen is a chefhausen. Not necessarily a good chef, mind you, but certainly an entertaining one. Subscribers to his Patreon page or his YouTube channel once a month get treated to Cooking with Danhausen, where he and his boys attempt to make relatively basic recipes in his kitchen and make, let's just say, interesting alternatives to the usual thing. It is actually quite entertaining because, again, it is done in character, where they make these, let's just say what it is, affronts to God whilst trying to cook up stuff as simple as popcorn or banana bread. To be honest, anyone who's tasted my cooking would probably advise me to make notes. Number 4, Danhausen was gifted David Arquette's tooth. Yep, you heard me correct. The former world heavyweight champion and Hollywood star David Arquette sent Danhausen one of his teeth before he hung up his boots. You see, Danhausen has got a bit of a thing for teeth, apparently. He carries a jar of it to the ring and often pours some into his opponent's mouth before hitting his version of the GTS, which was dubbed by CM Punk to be the very nice, very Neville. Good stuff, that. And if you're wondering how on earth can he get away with filling his opponent's mouth with teeth, well, his argument is they've already got quite a few in there already. A few more can't hurt. Number 3, Conan O'Brien wants to wrestle with Danhausen. Danhausen has made no secret for his love of late-night legend Conan O'Brien. He's a personal hero of his, and even fans of Danhausen have described him as if Conan O'Brien was possessed by a demon. Furthermore, Conan O'Brien on his podcast actually gave Danhausen his blessing and expressed an interest in working with Danhausen. So could we see the match, Danhausen versus Conan O'Brien in AEW? Well, let's be honest, Tony Khan has got pockets deep enough. The only other question is, would this be the celebrity wrestling appearance similar to Shaq or Snoop Dogg? Let's hope it's the former, eh? Number 2, Danhausen debuted as Donovan Danger. Like many wrestlers, Danhausen debuted as a wrestler far different from the one fans are used to. In his initial pro wrestling debut way back in 2013, Danhausen was told that his name, Danhausen, was too hard for fans to say, and so the promoter dubbed him Donovan Danger instead and sent him out to rock you like a hurricane just to complete the basic bitch level of wrestler that they were making him look like. You can't really imagine Donovan Danger getting over in Ring of Honor or getting signed by AEW, could you? So I suppose it goes on the long list of what could have been wrestler names. A bit like, I don't know, Chili McFreeze instead of Stone Cold Steve Austin. What the f*** were they thinking? Number 1, Danhausen has horrifying origins. Danhausen's original incarnation differs a lot from the happy-go-lucky scamp we know him as today. In fact, his original vignettes were creepy and skin-crawling, if I'm perfectly honest. He was like this terrifying monster from the bloody Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something, emerging from this plastic sheet. He talked more about it on the Talk Is Jericho podcast, talked about embracing his evil side to really make an impression before tricking all the folks and chucking a bit of nice in there as well. He talks about horror icons that he took inspiration from, like Pazuzu from The Exorcist, that eventually allowed him to settle on his current look, which really makes him stand out. It must take a bloody lifetime to put on as well. And that is our list. Please don't put a curse on me, Danhausen. Did we miss any out? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. Plus, you can let us know your thoughts on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE, and you can find me on there at Adam Wilborn. Thanks for watching. I've been Adam Wilborn from What Culture. He's been Danhausen, and we will see you soon.
Hey you! Yes, you, the wrestling fan! Have you got the January blues? Do other wrestling fans mock you and kick you in the balls for not knowing stuff about AEW, WWE, NXT Delete as appropriate? Well, never fear, because What Culture Man is here. I said, What Culture Man is here. And he's here to tell you that if you head to shop.whatculture.com now, you can get your hands on all these great wrestling books, plus magazines, t-shirts, and board games. Becoming All Elite by Michael Sidgwick, Development Hell by Michael Sidgwick, Shocking Wrestling Plans You Won't Believe Almost Happened, Shocking Wrestling Plans You Won't Believe Actually Happened, and 606 Wrestling Matches to See Before You Die. Thanks, What Culture Man! What Culture Man is a What Culture creation. DC Comics, please don't sue.